My father is having an affair with someone my age. I'm 17. My dad and my mom have been married 20 years. They have me and my younger sibling. One of them was diagnosed with cancer 8 years ago and it was a big journey to make sure they got through it. It took a big toll on the whole family. My mom gave up her job to look after them full time. It was over 2 years of back and forth. But we got lucky, they are thriving now. My dad has a high-powered job and always worked a lot, but he always made it home for dinner. But then about a year into my sibling's treatment, he started working late or going to the golf club a night a week. Then over time it was 2 nights and for the past few years it's been half the week. It was always sort of clear that my sibling's illness didn't exactly bring our parents together. My mom got totally into that and she wasn't always very present for me emotionally, but my sibling was so unwell that I just kind of got it. She's been great ever since. I asked my mom a few years ago if she and dad were happy and she said that marriage is more than just romance and rainbows and that they had a life together. About a year ago I finally twigged that my dad was having an affair and it had been going on for a while. Basically I found a document that indicated that he rents a flat on the other side of town. There was just this moment when I realized and my mom saw it kind of sink in and she just shook her head and I didn't say anything. 2 days ago I found out who his mistress was. It's a girl who is in my class in school. Izzy actually used to go out with my best friend from the age of 14. My friend was distraught when she broke up with him a year later. It seems like Izzy did this because she had met my dad. He rented a flat and they've been having an affair for 2 years. I confronted my dad and he just told me that it was none of my business, that his relationship with my mother had evolved when sibling got sick and that his intimate needs had upgraded and that Izzy can meet them in a way that my mother cannot. He said and my mother confirmed that he told my mom that he was planning to have an affair with Izzy before it started and that ground rules were set so that Izzy couldn't come to our house and that he would still be home a set number of nights a week and that no more than a set amount of money would be spent on Izzy. My mother gave her permission and that's been the situation ever since. My mother just said she didn't want to discuss it and that relationships change over time. My dad said that he would go and stay in his flat for the rest of the week while I cooled off but that he would come back on Monday and that we wouldn't be talking about it again. I'm physically kind of nauseous about this whole thing and I don't want anyone to know. My dad is just a total creep. I hadn't spoken to Izzy but she is really quiet and very clever. What do I do? My father is having an affair with someone my age. I'm 17. In the end, the sibling found out what was happening. When dad came home, my sibling and I confronted him again. He was a bit freaked out that my sibling now knew too. He explained it all again. He met Izzy and became transfixed by her and so he told her that he would like to start a relationship. He said that he started by meeting Izzy for coffee to work out ground rules with her and that he also worked out ground rules with my mother, but when my sibling pushed him about it, he admitted that he had told my mother that he would want a divorce if she stood in the way. It really does sound like the freaking weirdest adultery that I have ever heard of. During the time that he and Izzy were talking, which started 2 years ago, dad found a flat and furnished it for their meetings. Given that over time dad has been increasingly absent, sibling pushed again for an explanation and he said it started off one evening a week after which he dropped Izzy back at her parents but over time, they started staying over together for special occasions and then every week until where we are now where he's been here half the week and the other half with her. He also said that the flat they use now is not the same one they started out with because it's now one that Izzy lives in full time while the one they had for the first few years was just a bedsit. He finally admitted that he has consistently gone over the budget that he agreed to my mother that he would be spending on his affair. Sibling told him that she wasn't happy staying under his roof anymore and packed up to go stay with her boyfriend. She told our mom that she loves her and will be back when dad is gone. My mother kind of freaked out and asked her not to go but sibling just said again that she wants nothing to do with our father and she took her case and walked out the door. Sibling has also been in touch with our maternal uncle who I think is stepping in to lay down the law to my mom that she needs to kickstart a divorce because this situation is utterly unacceptable. If we were in America, dad would be liable for criminal charges. I worried about burning down the house but the house was already very much on fire. My parents will be separating even if people who love my mother have to step in directly. And, ultimately I drafted a text message to Izzy as I think I have her number stored on my phone. Thoughts on whether it would be wise to send would be appreciated. Hi Izzy. My dad's probably told you that the family are now all aware about your involvement with him. I just want to make clear that we bear no ill will towards you personally and that we wish you a brighter tomorrow. My dad's selfishness should not dictate your destiny and I hope you find your way to a future that does not include him. Best wishes, call me if you need anything, and yes I mean anything. Edit, me and Izzy just boned. That was such a huge F you to my dad.